Gametime Vancouver.
Episode 2, The Future of Hockey.
So today we have a very special announcement. We have producer Ben.
Producer Ben in the house.
To help us out with the stuff that we were messing up on last time.
Yeah.
Such as a lot.
The technical aspect of it.
Technical difficulties last time. Ben, you want to give a hello to the various fans out there?
To the audience.
Hello. Okay, they can
There
hear
you
that.
He's gonna be our Jamie if you listen to the Joe Rogan Experience, which probably you do because it's like the biggest podcast in the world. You'll know Jamie, and we have producer Ben.
Ben in the house.
He's gonna be
better.
He
says
says arguably better. I would deny that.
But he's gonna be pulling the stats, the data, and all the information that we need because
we're trying to at least.
we sometimes like to talk out of our asses,
Yeah, like the Breeze Wall mix-up last episode.
Yeah, I want to touch on that. Last episode, I was talking about Brisebois. I didn't mean Brisebois. In my mind, I was thinking about Ulanen. That was the guy who won the MVP.
Mm-hmm.
If we had producer Ben back then, it would have been different.
Yeah, could have fact-checked you. Saw that you were wrong.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna be talking about the future of hockey from our perspective.
Yeah, but before that, Jordan.
Okay.
How was your week been?
Pretty good, pretty solid. I mean, went to the golf course, went to the driving range. How
many times?
Thursday. Only one time.
Only
once.
Yeah. I coincidentally also went to the golf range on Thursday, and I had a really good session. To the audience out there, Thursday is what, August 16th, 7th, 16th, I think. Yeah, because it's gonna come out probably a little later than that. So
yeah, we're pre-recording.
Yeah, just so we have a little backlog of content.
For sure.
But now that we got the chit-chat out of the way, I think the first thing we want to talk about... Oh.
I want to mention about the golfing, sorry.
By all means.
We're planning on doing like a podcast while we play golf with the founders of Gametime, Max, Jasper, and I. We're planning to just go for a quick round, maybe pitch and putt.
Yeah, simple.
Something simple, and just be having a podcast on the fly for sure.
Yeah, and I think that would be really fun to record, and hopefully fun to watch. Hopefully. Yeah, but so as I was saying, one thing we want to talk about at the beginning is fighting in hockey. Fighting in hockey, is it good? Is it bad? Why is the QMJHL banning it?
Ben, can you pull up what's like the rules about the QMJHL and fighting? We want to get it straight. Yeah.
So Jordan, what are your opinions on the fighting in hockey? Should it stay?
100%. And the Q is doing a big mistake. Honestly, we're gonna be watching the results like live, and like this season's gonna tell us a lot. I mean, I'm expecting. Obviously, I don't want any of this, but I'm expecting a lot of star players being injured a long time because you're just getting them like exposed basically. You know? And no repercussions for the goons. For the goons, they're just gonna be just trying to take out the best player in the team, and I think you don't have that fear of getting like 5 minutes out of it and like getting a fight.
Exactly. I think fighting almost prevents, like, if you can't take a run at McDavid because do they even have an enforcer? I don't know. Darnell Nurse will come and mess you up. If someone on their team will defend him, and that goes for all teams. Like, they all have. Just anyone on the ice will defend their star players, and even sometimes star players will defend other guys. Less likely to happen, but I think fighting is a natural consequence. I think there's also something in hockey where it's sort of kind of a respect thing, almost, where if you do something, maybe you hit someone in the head accidentally, you have to fight, or else you sort of lose your self-respect, I guess, in a sense.
And you saw it during the World Cup of hockey this summer. Do you see the video of I don't remember who got like slashed with the skate?
Oh yeah,
they were like
was Joe Valeno.
Yeah, they were fighting in the boards, and then just a skate went just like straight to the back of.
But yeah,
I mean, yes, it was an accidental hit.
It was accident. I don't think.
Well, he got suspended 5 games. That doesn't sound too accidental. And if you have fight, like, of course, that guy's gonna get.
Yeah, he's gonna get suspended, but he's gonna be like, hey, maybe I shouldn't do that.
Yeah, and if he did it, which it's condemnable, he's gonna get his ass kicked. Now he's only getting 5 game suspension, and that's it. An end of the story.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Think about the playoffs.
Imagine you take off fighting in the playoffs. That would be insane.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's only in the queue, but you were seeing the clip right now.
Yeah, it's definitely not the clip.
Yeah, Ben, I don't know what.
That's definitely not the clip. That's
Ben,
a Switzerland.
Jamie wouldn't have done that.
Yeah, already messing up. But another thing is viewership. I think fighting has always really been there in the NHL, and it attracts viewers.
You know, our buddy Caleb at work, he's a big MMA fan, and he says, like, hockey. I mean, I like hockey because of the fights. I mean,
it gets fans involved.
Yeah,
I mean, some games and have fights with louder cheers than goals. You know,
we Canucks fans, we know it better than anyone. I mean,
a good fight.
Not a lot to cheer about, but when a fight goes in Rogers Arena,
upcoming season though, there's gonna be a lot to cheer about.
Total different story, yeah, for sure. But I mean, these past seasons, like, I remember going to game and, like, no goals in the first 2 periods, and I don't know where Boros drops the gloves, and the arena goes wild, like someone scored. You're taking that away of the game. I don't think it's good. And just plain, we all agree in this room that fighting shouldn't be banned.
Yeah, actually, Ben would yes.
It's a yes for ban, not banned.
He's shaking his head and nodding at the same time. I don't.
But I'm gonna play devil's advocate a little bit. What about the concussions? That's the argument that the Q is making. Concussions because of fighting. I don't think that's such a big problem.
So you're not playing devil's advocate.
Or I'm doing a terrible job.
I don't think you understand what devil's advocate means. But
I was trying, but at the same time, it's such a dumb argument that.
Yeah, I think in my eyes, I don't know what you're pulling up here.
The number of
read it. I'll say something. In my opinion, I think you're gonna get more concussions without.
So it says here, the National Institute of Health. .gov, so it's important. It's legit. It says that the number of concussions per year was 80, with an overall game rate of 5.8 concussions per 100 players. And I'm telling you right now, and I can bet whatever money you want, none of them are because of fighting.
I wouldn't say none.
Hot take.
But I don't think saying none is a good idea in statistical thing, but I think one thing you can say, I think if they take fighting out, number increases, and also number within star players increases.
What about the argument that people say that hockey's increasing in skill and decreasing in, like, physical fighting and, like, boarding and, like, pushing around and, like, the physical aspect of the game?
Well, to those people, I would say maybe you just have a bad GM. Look at the Leafs. What kind of rough guy did they have before they just signed Ryan Reeves? And they are always out in the first round. They made it second round this season. But you need a physical presence on your team. And so for people that say it's just only skill, like, the skill guys will get their minutes, but you also need to win a championship. You need grit. You need endurance. You need a lot.
Who would you describe as tough during the Tampa run? Like, those 3 years they got into the finals.
Ross Colton. They had Pierre Belmar, Pat Maroon, Corey Perry.
Yeah, actually,
Jan Ruda.
You're making an argument.
Victor Hedman.
I mean, Vegas.
I hate Kucherov because he's a little rat, but he gets in there.
Yeah.
And so I think society is probably trending in an area where it's not as rough as it used to be, but I think roughness still has its place in hockey.
It is definitely getting softer, and I mean, I'm not a professional hockey player, so I don't know how bad the body like.
Thanks for clarifying.
How bad like the body like your body's gonna have a receipt at the end of the season, right? Like,
Yeah.
but I don't think it's that much. Like, I don't think it's that bad. And fighting, I don't think it's gonna solve any problem, which is what the Q is trying to do right now. And I think it's just taking one of the best aspects of the game. Tell me another professional sport that allows fighting. Like, that's one of the beauties
MMA.
about hockey. Of course.
Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, they're not going liberal. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. All right. So we can transition into our next segment, which we're going to talk about nations rising, West falling. I don't know much about this, but I know you want to touch on it.
Do I?
You were talking about Russia.
Yeah, I mean, Ben, you can pull it up. I think Russia and China are investing into undeveloped nations and country and about hockey.
Yeah. Well, I think in investment.
So you can see it here. They're investing millions and millions of dollars into. So first of all, Russia invested a lot of money into China, and now China is like kind of getting hyped about hockey, and they have a couple teams playing in the KHL. Now that Russia is like excluded from like any competition, like you have China and Russia making their own like kind of conjunction and league.
They're next
to each other,
and China tends to take things over like in sports. Like they're crazy. Like they'll go from age 4 and they'll just go crazy on the sport.
If you're a professional athlete, there it's like your entire life.
Strict regimens. Yeah.
And you don't see that type of investment here in the West. Like you have Canada and the States not investing in other countries.
I saw a story that was talking about ESPN ran a baseball game that was like 7-1 into like the ninth inning all the way, and then like missed like OT action in a hockey game in the playoffs. Like we can't be doing that. Like you gotta measure importance. It's like the start of the MLB season and it's the playoffs. Like the people are supposed to be watching this. Also saw another graphic where it's like the most watched playoff was Chicago versus Boston. That was 10 years ago. Whereas in all other sports, they're continually setting more records, which comes to show I don't think it gets enough media coverage. People don't get enough hype, except for my man Charles Barkley. I like how he thinks.
He's
about
a G for sure. And the only media attention that we get is like the same teams, like the Leafs, Boston,
which I don't mind. Vancouver has their media.
Yeah, it's local though. Like you don't hear about the Vancouver Canucks in other places. I think not. Like if you go
not as much.
If you go to Winnipeg, let's say, or you go to Atlanta, like you don't hear anything about the Canucks. Thing unless something crazy happens. Like they fire their coach middle of the season and it's like kind of messy breakup.
Something crazy like that, which would never happen in a Canucks uniform.
No, never.
Not at all. We can also talk about sort of the liberal media. What do you think about liberal media and hockey and what's there?
100%. I think it ties all together. I think the Daily Wire made like a study that hockey, or someone in the Daily Wire said that the hockey is like the most conservative sport in North America. Yeah, right. And you see fighting, fighting, all that stuff. Most of the players are like tend to.
You have to be a little rough around the edges.
Yeah, and tend to be like more right wing than other leagues.
Yeah, you have a bunch of players from Alberta. You got a bunch of players from the States. So yeah, you're gonna end up with a bunch of
and you compare at least like the NFL or the NBA, they're pretty much liberal leagues.
Yeah,
where they share like these justice warrior like tendencies, right? And I think Gary Bettman sees that because the NBA and the NFL are the most watched leagues in North America, and he thinks, okay, let's try to make the NHL more, more woke and get some more viewers. Yeah. I don't think it's working. I think it's like trying to. I think it's scaring
Yeah,
the current
which also
viewers.
goes hand in hand with the fighting. Like, no wonder they want to get rid of that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Too violent.
Ooh, let's get rid of all the testosterone in the
On the games, for
testosterone
sure.
heavy sport.
And also, I mean, you see it here in Vancouver, like the media people are just like a bunch of little like sissy boys sometimes.
Liberal sissy boys.
Like,
you heard it
they,
here
they
first.
hate that some players just
Yeah.
get like
What
Miller.
like why are you getting why do they get so mad when James Reimer or Ivan Provorov decide to skip a Pride night? Like Provorov like fearing for his family's life, and James Reimer for religious reasons. Like first of all, that's none of your business. Second of all, like the poor guy, like every single story that I saw, it was anti James Reimer, and then the comments were filled with it. And he had a really, like, you should go look up what James Reimer said about it. He's like, I have no hate for these people. I just, for religious reasons, I can't support it. Like, I can't endorse it, you know?
For sure.
And he's got, you should go read that. And
So, I mean, valid totally, and what he says. And I mean, props to Provorov, because he started this movement about players just speaking their minds out. And there's players that are against, there's players that are for, and I think that's totally okay. You know, you want to have a league where there's freedom of speech.
Yeah.
You know, that's the West values.
And
That's the Western.
I also really don't like politics in hockey, because the thing is, when you take, if you aren't in a political realm, if you take something and you make it political, you knock off about 50% of your viewers, because on a lot of issues in the world it's 50-50.
Yeah.
Right? So you're like,
and then
you
you
go
have
one way one day, one way the other day, now you're at 0 viewers.
You
know?
have teams from LA, you have teams from Alberta, you have teams from Florida, like all over the map.
New York.
So
Right?
there's like, you don't have to alienate any of the viewership.
Yeah.
In any topics. And I think Gary Bettman finally had some good decisions by banning all these like commemorative jerseys and just not trying to make it political anymore.
Yeah. Although I don't I think theme nights are good for hockey. I don't think political theme nights are good for hockey.
Sure. I think we can all agree with that.
Like there's no reason we got to get rid of Veterans Day. Like that one could definitely stay. I don't think
100%.
anyone gets offended by honoring our veterans. Hopefully. If you're watching and you do that, wake up.
Don't watch anymore.
Yeah. We don't want you here.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't even think that's a hot take.
and
I don't need hot takes.
I don't know, this doesn't tie too much with the liberal media, but like players also need to. I think players are scared. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna somehow tie it all together. Players are scared of criticism from the media, and they don't speak their mind out. They don't get, because people are always complaining, oh, McDavid's too quiet, he doesn't talk too much, he's always saying the most generic answer. Of course he's gonna do it when like he gets demonized whenever he says something that the media doesn't like.
Yeah.
You see it with Miller. He's an outspoken guy who says whatever he thinks, and he's like one of the most hated guys in the media right now.
Yeah. Well, and it's also like, you watch any interview at any game in the middle, it's like, so what are you guys doing well? Getting pucks down deep, shots on goal, eventually one's going to go in. I think, short shifts, work hard. Yeah, get the job done.
Yeah.
Like all the interviews go that way. And I think there's a clip out there of Zach Hyman, the reporter's not talking to him at all. He's just interviewing, and then he thinks he hears something, and he's like, oh, I think I got this one. And then he gives the generic thing. Because honestly, if you say anything else, you might get negative from the coach.
For sure.
You might get negative from the media.
Yeah,
so,
the PR department's on your rear for sure.
Thank you. Yeah, and what else we got to talk about? We got to talk about ways that hockey can be improved. So, salary cap. I know I've definitely heard at work and on the ride here, that you are against the salary cap. Can you give us your thoughts on that?
Not true. I'm not against it,
Oh.
but it would be cool to go back to the good old days.
Just for a year, try it out.
You know what? You see, I know it has a lot to do with the revenue that the NHL gets.
Sorry, Ben just pulled it up. Leafs are negative almost $11 million in cap.
Oh my god! What about the Canucks? Are they cap compliant?
Yeah, Canucks aren't even on the list. Come on, media.
Minus 4.4.
That we got players on LTR. So
Yeah. Anyways, you saw it from like in the Gretzky times. Like you didn't have any salary cap, and you had like these dynasties. Wouldn't you like
was
to
hockey
see
more fun to watch back
I
then?
think so. Like there's some good
we
teams.
We won't know because we're young.
Well, you see the super teams that the Oilers assembled, like with salary cap. You don't see that. How many dynasties have you seen in your lifetime? Chicago and Tampa.
Tampa is not a dynasty.
They won. Like they got to the finals 3 times.
Yeah, they got to win 3 and 5.
Okay, so Chicago only.
Chicago only.
Okay.
Yeah. Amazing team.
Back then, you can mention the Oilers. You can mention the Rangers. You can mention.
Yeah, but I think from Gary's perspective, I love how you're trying to think stuff.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
I mean,
3-peats happened with Montreal and Toronto back in the day, but no, I think from Gary Bettman's perspective, you have. You want every team to have as good a chance to win as possible. He's trying to bolster up teams like Arizona and teams like that, because if they have a chance, then he's trying to grow hockey in a small market. But at the same time, wouldn't it be great for hockey if Vancouver won a Stanley Cup, or Toronto? As someone from Canada, you would think that would be the play if you want to make lots of money.
If you make it like the Prem, where the big markets have better teams, I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing and can improve the game. So small markets like Columbus or Anaheim, like, do they really need $80 million? Do they really need? Do they really
lower the salary?
Do they really need to? Did they really want to spend that amount of money?
Yeah,
I don't think so.
Well, they make more than that in a season.
Yeah, I guess
crazy low for.
I would just like I would like to see like super teams again.
Yeah,
and you don't see that like that often, and I think the salary cap is just a pain in the ass sometimes. And you see the Prem. Yeah. Like I'm comparing it with the Prem. Like you see, like,
which is the best league in soccer. Spoiler for next episode. Okay, hate to cut you off there, but I had a good segue. Mm-hmm. You said something about super teams, and that made me think another thing that hockey sucks at is, why are we not in the Olympics? NHL players, why are they not in the Olympics? That's a good question. Nobody really knows why.
Money.
The money will come eventually.
What does the NHL get from the Olympics?
A crazy amount of media attention.
The players too, for sure. The NHL though?
What do you mean?
I mean,
like,
the NHL doesn't gain any money.
Okay, if you're watching league action, only like a certain amount of supporters will watch. If you're watching Team Canada playing gold, you're gonna see the whole country, and some of them maybe people our age, people that don't follow many sports, and they're like, hey, this is really cool, I'm gonna start watching hockey, and now you have a new fan. Like, there's got to be some of those out there, and eventually you're gonna get your money back. It's called an investment, right? There's not a whole lot of investment in hockey.
Yeah,
like,
no, I get it.
They're kind of just coasting.
You go back to 2010, and like you remember that, like it was like great.
That
atmosphere.
Was amazing.
Yeah, it was
2014.
Great times.
Amazing. Happened in like 4 a.m. or whatever. But it was amazing.
Yeah,
like I woke up for that.
But again, the NHL doesn't gain anything out of it. They don't. They get some publicity.
Well, no, they do. Like eventually, they'll gain more fans.
Yeah, but like they won't do it right now because they prefer to get the players play for the NHL, not the Olympics.
The Olympics isn't a team. It's not a.
Exactly. It doesn't. I
don't know. I think if the NHL let them do it for free, I think the NHL would still be net positive. Wait, what do they lose?
So
just
you
player.
You make the season longer too.
Oh. Who cares?
Like you extend the season 2 weeks. The players need to rest. I'm not against it. I would be.
It seems like
I'll be enchanted to see the players.
They call
the
it the
best
devil's
play.
advocate for a good reason. My goodness. I can't believe you said these things. Anyways, all right. That, I guess, is pretty much it, unless you have any final comments.
No, pretty much it. I mean, I think we touched everything in hockey right now, and to be honest, there's no, like, really, like, new news about hockey.
We'll be making hot takes, medium takes, predictions, little things on the Instagram page.
Yes, stay tuned.
Stay followed.
Game time.
Sense. Yeah.
That's Gametime Van City.
He messed up. Another one.
Yeah.
It's Gametime Van City. And yeah, so go follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Make sure to like and comment and share, especially share those posts with your friends who you think would want to, follow us. And that pretty much sums up the episode. Thank you for watching.
See you next week.